Purim's here, so let's raise Cain. Purim's come around again. A happy day to sing and play. Hurrah, hurrah for Purim Day. I don't know if anybody else's family sings that song, but my dad used to sing it to me growing up. And Purim will be here in just a couple of weeks. So this weekend is Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. It is the uh, new month of second Adar, and of course, well, I don't know, of course, but second Adar is when we celebrate Purim. When there's only one Adar, we celebrate it in the Adar that there is, and when there are two Adars, we celebrate it in the second Adar. And the week after this one, we will be reading Parshat Vayikra. We'll be reading the first book from the book of Leviticus for our Torah portion. And there is a supplemental passage for Shabbat Zachor, which is the Shabbat that immediately comes before Purim. Shabbat Zachor is when we read this section of the Torah that says Zachor et Amalek, remember Amalek or the Amalekites and what they did to us when we were coming out of Egypt. So the Amalekites are the first people to attack the Israelites in the wilderness, and what they do is particularly treacherous, not just because they're the first to attack, but also because they attack from behind. And that means that they target those who are most vulnerable. And so we are taught that our obligation is to remember to blot out the name of Amalek so that we don't mimic or accept their behaviors, and so that we take care of those who are vulnerable. And the connection of this to Purim is that we are told that Haman is a descendant of Amalek, and that what he is doing is sort of a continuation of Amalek's behavior. So we read this portion before. Now, I also have a question from a congregant who wanted to know, why do we send food packages on Purim? So why do we send mishloach manot, or if you're a Yiddish speaker, why do we send shlach manas? So there are a couple of reasons. Mishloach manot are one of four major mitzvot of Purim. The mitzvot are Mishloach manot, hearing the Megillat Esther, read in the evening and in the morning. 3 is matzanot la'evyonim, which is food, gifts to the poor. So money, food, however, but taking care of the poor. And the 4th is to have a su'udah, to have a festive meal. So those are the main mitzvot of Purim. So then we get back to the question, why mishloach manot? So some of it comes straight out of Megillat Esther, out of the book of Esther. In the 9th chapter, in verse 19, it says, therefore, this is after Haman's downfall, therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting, a holiday, and of sending portions to one another. So this is, according to the text, what the Jews did to celebrate what is essentially Purim, was they sent gifts to each other. Also, within the text, Haman accuses the Jewish people of being a scattered and divided nation. I mean, partially what he means is that we're everywhere, that we're not even loyal to each other, all of that. And there's this, strong anti-Semitic theme that runs through that, which makes sense. I mean, Haman is trying to eradicate the Jews. That's part of what his mission is, in order to self-aggrandize. So one of the things that we do is we stand in direct opposition to Haman's assessment of us, and we connect to each other. And as Jews have known for millennia, one of the ways that we connect is through food. So we send food to one another to close that divide, to draw near and make our communities stronger. So that is part of that same reason that is found within the text. Now there is a third reason, which has to do also with matanot le'evyonim, which is gifts to the poor. If one of the mitzvot for everyone is to have a festive meal, then it becomes incumbent upon us to make sure that everybody has enough to be able to have festivities. And the hope is that nobody should have to take away from another aspect of their lives in order to celebrate this mitzvah. So if we send matanot le'avyonim, if we send gifts to the poor, if we send mishloach manot, if we send food to people, then they have the wherewithal to celebrate this holiday, so that our own celebration doesn't come at the expense of somebody else not being able to celebrate. And so we share the joy of our survival, of our thriving, of this festive holiday. And so as Purim comes up, I hope you will take the time to make a few matanot, a few mishloach manot. There's some wonderful ideas online, and enjoy your home in Taschen, enjoy the holiday, and find ways to make this time festive and joyous.